All right, now let's talk about MLW. So MLW had actually an interesting main event. They had a chain ropes match as the main event, and they teased the match not happening, which really pissed me off. It really was like, all right, if this match doesn't happen, I'm not following MLW anymore. But it actually did happen. We're going to talk about that match a little bit later. We're going to have to breeze through these earlier matches first. So, Gino Medina is apparently upset at anybody who is appropriating lucha libre culture. Now he's mad at Zenshi for being a non-Mexican wearing a mask. I don't know if Zenshi is really like, he looks black, but he might be Brazilian and just be dark skinned. He might be some type of South American because they said he's South American champion or whatever in wrestling. This match was incredibly bland. Gino Medina has little to no personality. Zenshi does not talk. I don't even think he makes a sound as he wrestles. He just does typical lucha libre flippity do shit. Tom Lawler claimed he couldn't perform because he had a bicep injury. They did this weaving story throughout the evening where ended up he does have a bicep injury, so he can't perform. But the match was going to still be on, and ACH was just taken out to. It was supposed to be ACH and the Von Erichs versus Team Filthy, Tom Lawler, Kevin Koo, Dominic Guarini. But since Lawler was taken out, they took ACH out. That was pretty much the deal. So Myron Reed talked about how he was feeling unbeatable when he was the middleweight champion. How he was the man, and that he felt like he was the GOAT, the young GOAT. And then he lost to Leo Rush. And before he got a chance to properly, take a moment to reassess after losing to Leo Rush, he got jumped by Contra, and he said he ain't forgot that. And he blamed Davari for it. So he's going to fight Davari and beat his ass one of these weeks that's supposed to be upcoming. The next match was Gringo Loco versus Mil Muertes. Mil Muertes is still, doing stolen valor, walking around with Alexander Hammerstone's belt. This is not the way to present Mil Muertes. Mil Muertes feels like a regular fucking guy on this show. He doesn't feel like the same kind of character that he was in Lucha Underground. He feels like a regular guy. For starters, he's going after a middle card belt. This is not a main event belt. Like, the World Championship is the main event belt. This is a top title, sure, because Alexander Hammerstone is a top target. But Mil Muertes is going back and forth, several minutes with bums. Like this. Look, no offense to Gringo Loco or his, half a fan that might be out there. But why Mil Muertes didn't beat this guy in like 2 minutes is beyond me. Why was this 4 minutes or whatever the hell it was? This is the shits. The entire presentation of Mil Muertes is not working in MLW. It's not working. This thing sucks. The mystique of the character is gone. They need to rebuild his mystique. Like, everything about him in Lucha Underground was great. He felt larger than life. He felt important when he came out. It felt like shit was getting real. Now he just walks around with somebody else's belt. Like, that's something that they literally was doing with Holiday. Literally any wrestler could do that. He needs to be doing something with Mil Muertes. Further example of Mil Muertes just being just another guy. You got Alexander Hammerstone talking about him like he's just another guy. Alexander Hammerstone calling him, saying that, I'm tired of people saying that I lost the title and just because you took it and you walking around with it. But, I accept your challenge. I'm willing to fight you and all this type of stuff. Just talking to him, cutting regular wrestling promos. Like, this is not, it doesn't feel right to me. It feels like he's supposed to be a little bit more on edge. Like the man of 1,000 deaths. We're supposed to be more on edge about Mil Muertes. And it's been weeks and weeks and weeks. So I've been very, very patient and not blowing my stack about how they're presenting Mil Muertes. But this stolen valor storyline where he was just walking around with the belt because he took it is fucking stupid. Okay? It's dumb. And it's not befitting a character the stature of Mil Muertes. If we're gonna say that the Mil Muertes that we're looking at right now is not the same Mil Muertes from Lucha Underground, and okay, then why are we using that name? You know, we shouldn't be trying to use the name and the reputation of that version of Mil Muertes to push this version of Mil Muertes. You know, find your version and, you know, do that. But, you know, whatever. That's too much to ask. We got a little promo from Calvin Tankman, who I really liked, and I really liked this promo too. So he basically explained the concept of heavyweight hustle. So he says that the heavyweight hustle is a can't quit attitude. And you know that, you know, he got this daughter. She's 6 years old. He's 25 with a 6-year-old daughter. He said, I got, you know, 10 years before I have to start paying for college. I got, you know, 10 years before I have to start buying her cars. So when everybody else is, you know, is willing to stay down, when everybody else is willing to quit and to walk away and say, like, look, I might not have to do this anymore. He's like, there's no options. You know, I have to succeed. I don't stop. I keep going. You know, that's what the heavyweight hustle is. The heavyweight hustle is you keep going. You keep going forward. You know, and I was like, okay, I dig this. And his title match is next week. So even if the chain rope match didn't happen and it made me mad, I was gonna have to watch MLW anyway because I wasn't gonna miss Fatu and Tankman. I wasn't gonna miss that for anything. So speaking of Tankman, he wrestled a Sentai Death Squad guy that he beat in under a minute. Then they had Fatu come out to confront him, but he jumped over the ropes onto Fatu and all of these guys at the same time. Then he powerbombed, I believe it was, Davari, while Fatu, you know, powdered and took off. I'm like, they're doing a good job here. Obviously, it's pretty clear now that Tankman won't win the title. It's pretty obvious now because they've had, you know, Fatu kind of powder from him a couple of times now. But it was a good ride because, you know, that's probably Hammerstone's spot to beat Fatu. But it's cool. You know, I'm really enjoying Calvin Tankman as a performer and his story and his presentation. I'm really enjoying that. So the main event was, well, before we get to the main event, the Von Erichs accepted the challenge and called Tom Lawler a coward because he backed out of the match. But they are not good at talking. Neither one of them are, and they were the shits. They were the shits at talking. Selena De La Renta accepted Alexander Hammerstone's challenge and said Mil Muertes will fight him for the open weight belt. And then she was approached by an Azteca Underground associate and was warned that El Jefe is not happy with her and that she being sent for. So she got to go talk to the boss. And that ought to be interesting. I mean, I'm sure at some point we're going to have to find out more about this Azteca Underground thing. And they're doing a good job of, you know, revealing a little at a time instead of trying to give us too much. But, you know, you can wait too long to pay off a story. You can. I don't think they've gone too far yet. I don't think we've waited too long yet. But I'm just saying that you can, in general parlance, you can wait too long to pay off a story. Like when WWE took forever to pay off the anonymous Raw general manager. It's like by the time they actually paid it off, nobody gave a shit. You know, like everybody was like, I think it was similar with the what's in the cage storyline for what was that kid named Eric Red? Not Eric Red, Eric Rowan. They just kind of waited too long to spring it on people, and then it was a robot spider. What bullshit. All right, so the main event was the Von Erichs versus Violence is Forever. Violence is Forever is Kevin Koo and Dominic Garrini in a chained rope match. So this match was actually very interesting. It was very unique. I don't think I've ever seen one before. So this was a first for me. And it wasn't bloody and stupid or anything like that. They used the ropes sparingly. Like the ropes were just chains. That's all it was. They took the ropes down and replaced it with chain. Tom Lawler was out there. His name is Tom Lawler, right? Yeah, it's Tom Lawler. Tom Lawler was out there cheating, you know, wrapping guys up in the chain. they took the chain off and they crotched guys on the chain. There were some ugly spots involving the chain where guys would get thrown into it or whatever, and it'd catch like their ears or something like that. So it was like really well used, but it didn't get bloody and all that type of stuff. They actually avoided using the chain a lot, you know. But it was solid. It was a solid match. Very physical. Both sides were willing to lay their shit in. So it was pretty physical. There was a spot where Marshall Von Erich got wrapped in chains by Tom Lawler, who was trying to keep him out of the ring, while his brother was getting double teamed by Guarini and Kevin Koo. He finally had to fight free. He'd get in there, came in, started doing his comeback. Then there was a dual submission spot with Guarini putting Ross, I believe it was, in a heel hook, while Marshall was trying to save him. It might have been the other way around. In any event, one of the Von Erichs was in a guillotine. He ended up lifting, I believe it was Dominic Guarini, and they all fell on top of him to break up the submission hold. The finish came in with Tom Lawler tossing some brass knuckles into the ring. Von Erichs intercepted it. Boom, hit both guys with the brass knuckles. They did the claw, and then the double claw slam, which is similar to like a choke slam, on Dominic Guarini and pinned him. So it was fine. The chains weren't used enough, if you ask me, but nobody asked. But it was fine. They delivered the match that they said they were going to have. And it was worth it. It was worth it. It was free match, so it was okay. I probably would have wanted a little bit more, but it was perfectly fine. So this was a one match show. Like, if you're interested in the chain ropes match, should you go out of your way and watch it? Depends on how much you care about Kevin Koo and Dominic Guarini. I don't care about them at all, which is the part of the problem with the whole, hey, we're going to say ACH and Tom Lawler is in it, and then we're going to pull them out of it. Because that probably would have been one of the reasons people watched the show, was to see those two guys. And then they pulled them from the show. It's like, man, just say Dominic Guarini is going to be in a fucking chain rope match. Just say that. In any event, MLW I'm looking forward to next week, and next week is probably going to be dope with Tankman and Fatu. This one was just like a steady episode that was booked around a gimmick match. Okay, gimmick match was there. It was okay. Didn't sink the show. Didn't stink. It didn't look great either, because the ropes was kind of sagging. But it was okay. While I was watching it, I had fun with it. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for your time, and I'll talk to you guys later. Yeah, shine light. I know what that's like.